Good day, everyone. I'm Miss Mae Judy Ann Bautista. I just want you to share how to solve the measures of central tendency and the measures of variability in ungrouped data. So first, we have to solve the measures of central tendency, and that is consist of mean, median, and mode. So first, we have to define what is the mean, median, and mode. Mean, that is the average of the data. How do we get the average of the data? By adding or getting the sum of the observations divided by the number of observations, or by adding all the data and divided by how many there are. How about the median? So the median, that is the middle of the data. We have two different ways to get the median. First is if the number of the data is odd. If the number of data is odd, the middle one, that is the median. How about if the number of data is even? If the number of data is even, we have to get the average of the two middle, and then the answer, that is the median. How about the mode? How do we get the mode? So the mode, that is the most frequent data. So we have unimodal, bimodal, trimodal, and multimodal. When we say unimodal, that is the data having one mode. How about the bimodal? The bimodal having the data of two modes, and then the trimodal having three modes, and the multimodal having four or more modes of the data. So let's cite an example to get the mean, median, and mode. 10 of the first year students in ICCT colleges got the scores of 30, 20, 22, 25, 15, 35, 45, 50, 39, 30, and 37 in their preliminary examination. So find the mean or average of the scores. So first, we have to get the sum of the data. So the formula in getting the mean is the sum of the scores divided by the total number of the data. So that is the symbol for mean, that is x bar. So first we have to get the sum of the data. So we have to add the 30, 20 plus 22 plus 25 plus 15 plus 35 plus 45 plus 50 plus 39 and plus 37, and that is equal to 318 divided by how many the data is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 318 divided by 10, and that is equal to 31.8. So that is the mean. How about the median? So first, if we are getting the median, we have to arrange the data from least to greatest, or from lowest data to the higher data. So first is, if we have to arrange it, 15 plus 20, 22, 25, 30, 35, 37, 39, 45, and 50. So first, we have to arrange the data, no? And then after that, since the number of the data is even, we have to get the two middle, and that is 30 and 35, and then get the average. How do we get the average? By adding the two middle, which is 30 plus 35, that is equal to 65, and then divide it by 2. So that is equal to what? So that is equal to 32.5. So the middle or the median is 32.5. Anyway, by this, we have to get the place of observation if the number of the data is even. How do we get the place of observation? So, and that is the number of the data plus 1. So, 10 plus 1, that is 11, and then divided by 2, and that is equal to 5.5. So, it means that the place of the median is in 5.5 place. So, it means nasa gitna siya ng 30 and 35. How about the mode? So mode, same example. Since no data are most frequent, hindi na uulit, same lang na iisa na nag-appear sa ating data. So, ang tawag natin dyan, that is no mode. Okay, how about the measures of variability? The measures of variability, that is the variance and standard deviation. So the formula in getting the variance is S squared is equal to the sum of the square difference divided by n, where n, that is the number of the data, minus 1. And then the standard deviation is the square root of the sum of the square difference divided by n minus 1. What do you observe, class? So, as you can see, or as you observe, the variance and standard deviation are very connected to each other. Why? Because once you get the variance, it's very easy to get the standard deviation. Just take the square root of the variance, and then we will now get the standard deviation. No po? Okay, so steps in solving variance and standard deviation. First is we have to calculate the mean. Okay, how do we get the mean? By adding all the data and divided by how many there are. And then next one is subtract the mean from each data point. Next is square each difference. Fourth, calculate the mean of the square difference or calculate the variance. And fifth is take the square root of the variance to get the standard deviation. Okay, for example, if we have data 4, 8, and 12, first is we have to calculate the mean. How do we get the mean? By adding all the data and then divided by how many there are. So since our data is 4, 8, and 12, 4 plus 8 plus 12, that is equal to 24, and then divided by 3, the number of the data, and our mean is 8. So we have to write the mean to the second column of the table. So 8. Okay, next step is subtract the mean from each data point. So 4 minus 8, and that is equal to negative 4. 8 minus 8, that is equal to 0. 12 minus 8 is 4. So that is the step 2, and that is in the third column. How about in the fourth column? That is square the difference. So the answer of the third column, you have to square it to get the answer in the fourth column. So negative 4 squared, that is equal to 16. Negative multiplied by negative, and that is equal to positive. How about 0 squared? That is equal to 0. Any number multiplied by 0, that is equal to 0. How about 4 squared? And that is equal to 16. And the fourth step is we have to calculate the means of the square difference or calculate the variance using the formula. Again, what is the formula in getting the variance? That is equal to S squared is equal to the sum of the square difference divided by n minus 1. So 16 plus 0 plus 16, and that is equal to what? 32 divided by 3 minus 1, and that is equal to 2. So the variance is equal to what? Equal to 16. So that is the variance. How about the standard deviation? As what I said in a few minutes, no, we have to square the variance to get the standard deviation. Kaya nga, the variance and the standard deviation are very connected to each other. Why? Once we get the variance, it's easier to get the standard deviation because we have to take the square root lang ng variance, and then we will now get the standard deviation. So since the variance is 16, just take the square root of the 16, and the standard deviation is 4. So the square root of 16 is equal to 4, and that is the standard deviation. So that's all for now. Thank you for listening. I hope you understand our lesson for today.
For more ICCT College's video updates, please subscribe and click the notification button.